Today we're going to be looking at some integrals that need to be done by partial fraction decomposition. And partial fraction decomposition is hopefully something you saw in pre-calc, but if not, this video will be a good refresher. We're going to start by writing out our equation, and then we're going to set it equal to a over our first factor in the denominator plus b over the second factor. And then to simplify this a little bit, we're going to multiply both sides of the problem by our denominator. So the x over x plus, or x times x plus 1. X times x plus 1. When we do that, we're going to get just the numerator left on the left side. And then we'll get a, and if we multiply a over x times x plus 1, the x's that are by themselves will cancel and leave us with a times x plus 1. And then the opposite will happen with b. The x plus 1 will cancel with the x plus 1, and we'll be left with bx. And now, to solve for x, we need to make some smart choices. So if we want to solve for a, for example, we want b to go away. So we can do that by letting x equal 0, because that's going to multiply b times 0 and make it go away. And then we plug in 0 for x and the rest of the equation also. We'll get 0 plus 2 equals a times 0 plus 1. And when we simplify, we'll just get a equals 2. And now we need to solve for b, so we'll look at the x plus 1 here and figure out that if we let x equal negative 1, we'll get a 0 there also. Now we just substitute back in, so negative 1 plus 2. And then a times negative 1 plus 1 plus b times negative 1. And then we simplify again. We'll get 1 is equal to negative b. So b must be negative 1. Now we can come back to our original integral, because now we have a new way to write it. This a over x plus b over x plus 1. And we know a is 2, so it'll be 2 over x dx plus the integral of negative 1 over x plus 1. And this can be simplified a little bit. It'll be 2 times the integral of 1 over x dx minus the integral of 1 over x plus 1. And now we can integrate 1 over x. The integral of that's just going to give us the ln of x. So we'll have 2 times the ln of x minus, well, the derivative of x plus 1 is still 1. So this will be the ln of x plus 1. Don't forget your plus c on the end. Alright, and now we're going to look at something just a little more complicated. The same kind of problem, we're still going to have to do partial fraction decomposition, but our terms in our denominator are a little more complicated, and it's going to change up a little bit. So, like we did last time, we're going to start by rewriting the inside off to the side. We have x squared times x plus 4 in this denominator. We're going to set it equal to a over the first factor of our denominator, but x squared has 2 factors. So the first time we're going to do a over x, and then we're going to do b over x squared, and that will be the 2 factors of x squared. And then we're going to have c over x plus 4. like we did last time, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by our denominator. So if we multiply everything by x squared times x plus 4, and do the same over here, we can cancel some stuff out. So we'll end up with just the numerator on the left. And then when we multiply a over x by x squared times x plus 4, we'll have a times single x times x plus 4. And then we'll have b, and then the x squared will cancel with the x squared. So we'll have x plus 4. And then it'll be plus c. And all c is missing is the x squared. So just like last time, we can try and make some smart choices for x. We can see we have just c times x here, and we have a times x. So if we let x equal 0, we're going to get some zeros for a and for c, and we can solve for b. And now we just plug in, so we'll get 3 times 0 plus 2 is equal to a times 0, so I'm not going to write that. And then it'll be b times 0 plus 4. So it'll be 4b. And then we'll have cx squared. Well, anything times 0 is 0, so that'll go away also. And then it'll just leave us with 2 equals 4b. We can divide by 4 on both sides. And then we simplify this 2 over 4 and get b equals 1/2. Now we need to make another smart choice. If we let x be -4, we can make a and b go away and solve for c. We'll let x equal -4. So we'll have 3 times -4 plus 2 is equal to a times 0, so that'll go away. B times 0 will go away. And then just c times -4 squared. Now we simplify again. So 4 times 3 is 12. Keep the negative sign. It'll be -12 plus 2, so it'll be -10. And then -4 squared will be 16c. And then we divide by 16 on both sides. We'll get c is equal to -10 over 16. And the top and bottom will both divide by 2, so that'll be equal to -5/8. Now we can look. A trick you can do with these is if you look at your equation, if you were to FOIL out up here this x and this x, you'd have some a times x squared, and over here at the end of the equation we have c times x squared, but we don't have any x squared term over here. So what we can do is, since we don't have any x squared term here, we're going to have a 0, and that will be equal to a plus c. And that's something you can do with any of these partial fraction problems. As long as your powers of x are the same, you can set it equal to the coefficient of the same x on the other side. And since we know what c is, we have a minus 5/8 is equal to 0. So if we add 5/8 to both sides, we'll get a is equal to 5/8. And now we need to plug back in. So we have our integral. We know a is equal to 5/8, so we will have 5/8 times 1 over x dx plus our b, which is 1/2, so we will have the integral of 1/2 times 1 over x squared dx, and then plus our c, which is negative 5/8. I'll have the integral of negative 5/8 1 over x plus 4 dx. And now we can rewrite this and make it look a little better and pull all the coefficients out. We'll have 5/8 of the integral of 1 over x dx plus 1/2 of the integral 1 over x squared dx minus 5/8 of the integral of 1 over x plus 4 dx. And now we can finally get to the calculus. So we will have 5/8, and the integral of 1 over x is the ln of x, plus 1/2 the integral of 1 over x squared. And that's going to be a power rule, so x is going to be -2. So we will divide by 1 over, or multiply by 1 over -1, and that will give us a -1/2 out front now. And this will be 1 over x, and then minus, we still have the 5/8, and then x plus 4 is the ln of x plus 4. And don't forget your plus c on the end.